Welcome back to another video, and this one's all about the Rivian R2 and its efficiency numbers. Let's jump right into it. All right, everybody, for this, we're going to do our own personal efficiency test with our Rivian R2. There's been a lot of chatter about this, and to be honest with you, I am not surprised at the results that people have been getting, because when you look at it and you look at the shapes and you look at what it's compared to, you can't really escape the physics. Yes, I do 100% understand that RJ fully said this. Technically, on paper, RJ was not wrong. Per the EPA testing and the cycle that Rivian chose, it did match the Model Y's range or watt-hour per mile stuff on paper. In the real world, that is not coming to fruition. I have not seen it, and I own both of these vehicles that are being discussed about, the Model Y Performance and the R2 Performance. I have both of them. So we're going to do a quick test loop on State Route 60 here in Vero Beach, Florida. It is a completely flat straightaway all the way down for about 35-40 miles-ish. We're going to go all the way to the Turnpike exit, turn around, and come all the way back. We're going to use that efficiency data to kind of see what it looks like towards the EPA numbers, what others in the community have been getting, what my Model Y looks like as far as a lifetime efficiency on that vehicle, and all. So we're going to do this really quick. We will bring you along as we always do. We will speed up the parts through the video where we're just sitting in the car, letting the car pretty much drive at 70 miles an hour all the way down this road. Other than that, weather right now for the vehicle is outside 91 degrees. We're going to have the HVAC set to 72 and low. The rear vents are turned off. We have both front vents on, as you can see here. And it is going to be, that's about it for us. It is currently 12 o'clock. And let's get started. We have, the vehicle is in conserve mode here, and the tire pressures, we did reset them as far as making sure they were at the factory 38 PSI. So once we start moving, that should be back to where they should be. Battery pack's at 98 degrees, and let's get started. So where we're leaving out of now is basically like an outlet mall. It's right. So I'm going to come out of here and then make essentially a left-hand turn and go right on the State Route 60. There is no us running out of battery or any of that in this. I don't want anybody to think that that's what's going to happen, because that's not what we're doing in this at all. So there's no risk of that per se in this video. But we do have a charger that we can go to, worst case scenario, if that were to be a concern, but it's not going to be for this. So once we get out to the road, I'll let you guys know. Should be a few seconds here. Yeah, so here we're pulling up to the light now, and you'll be able to see just how flat this drive is. Actually, we got the green light, so even perfect, even better. So we just have one street light to go up there, and once we cross that street light, that is essentially it, guys. So the speed limit on this road will go from 55 to 65 miles an hour, and we will be running 70. GPS indicated in this vehicle is a little bit under 72, so we'll be running 72 miles an hour. We will be using Autonomy Plus to maintain that speed. Again, we are in conserve mode, and we're going to slowly ramp ourselves up to that speed. So in conserve mode, as you can see, just a brief overview, the rear motor is the only motor that is propelling the vehicle forward. The front motor will not be kicking in at all in this scenario. Conditions on the road are dry. We have been having off and on rain. And here's our 65 mile an hour speed limit zone. So now we're going to creep on back up to 72 nice and slow here. 72 will be the vehicle speedometer telling us that we are at 70, as in GPS. So there it is. We're going to pull, and we're going to hold this speed all the way till we get to our turnaround point. and we'll check in periodically with you guys just to give you small updates on the current efficiency, what it's doing, how it's doing, and go from there.
Hey there, what you drinking? 2 shots, let's pour it out. I know what you're thinking, but tomorrow won't come for us. This life that we're living, ain't never gonna give it up. Double shot for the gifted, and one more for us. There you go, drink it up. All this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow, we go fast. Yeah, we can't get enough. We stay all day, all night, living in paradise. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. Don't look at the past, no, we're not going that way. Oh, now make it last, make it last to the break of day. No matter what people say, live life in a fast lane. Double shot for the gifted, triple shot for the pain. There you go, drink it up, all this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow, we go fast. Yeah, we can't get enough.
All right, guys, and here's our data right here for the last 15 minutes. This is what we have used. As you can see, we're doing an average of 2.31 miles per kilowatt hour. We've gone about 16 miles, and our average speed has been 70 miles an hour, as you can see. Even the car is telling us 30 kilowatt hours over the next hour if we kept on this path, if we kept on this track that we're doing. It's slowly creeping back up. We do have a slight, very small headwind that was coming at us for a little bit, but again, that should be neutralized once we spin around and come back the other way. It is a very light drizzle, as you can see, just very light. The water's running right off the windshield. You don't necessarily need the wipers to run, so I'm not having them on right now. Our road is not wet at all. It's maybe slightly damp at the most, but yeah, that's about it. We'll check back in again. We should be coming up around our turnaround point shortly, and then we'll check in with you then.
Double shot for the gifted, triple shot for the pain. There you go, drink it up. All this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow, we go fast. Yeah,
So another quick small update. We left with 67% of the battery. Remember, this was not a range test. This was more of an efficiency test. And we have used 10% of the battery and have traveled 21.9 miles. And we've done 2.32 miles per kilowatt hour, and we've used 10 kilowatt hours total. Battery pack's at 98 degrees, the rear motor's running at 158. Everything is doing great. Far as what the car is going to do is what the car is going to do, and that's where we are with this essentially. So we'll check back in with you shortly. Just wanted to give you that small update.
live life in a fast lane. Double shot for the gifted, triple shot for the pain. There you go, drink it up. All this love in a cup. Yeah, we go slow.
So we're coming off of 70 miles an hour here to make our turnaround point. So for me to turn around, I'm just gonna go, there's a gas station right here. We'll flip around in there and come right back out. Actually, I can make my turnaround right here. The only reason I did that is because there's a lot of cars behind me and there's an 18-wheeler, and I did not want to get stuck behind that going back up the road. So we'll be here shortly for this. And once the light turns off, again, same thing. We're going to ease back up to 72 miles an hour and sit there all the way back. So far, we are at 2.43 miles per kilowatt hour. We've gone 24.4 miles. Battery pack's at 55%. And at 55%, the car is showing 175 miles of estimated range of what it could do. Still just a light drizzle, as you can see. And we are slowly creeping back up to that 70 miles an hour, 72 indicated on the speedometer. There we are.
This is the time of your life.
Just an update on the energy screen as you see here. Please ignore the distance here. This is not updating all the way. We had a little bit of issues with that when we first tried to film this. So this has been getting kind of stuck a little bit. So the best we could use was the last 15 minutes. But as you can see, propulsion has used 6.2 kilowatt hours. HVAC has used 200 watts. The car itself has used about 200 watts. And it's saying this is saying 6.9 kilowatts, but we've also regened or recouped 0.3 kilowatt hours or 300 watts back into the battery. And it's showing us if we continued on this same trend, we would use 27 kilowatt hours over the next hour. So that's showing you that it is starting to it's slowly improving with time, but I don't think we're going to see the car get up to those 3.2, 3.4, even 3.5 or 3 at all at this highway speed. And I want to make it clear that yes, some EVs are going to hit their numbers, or exceed their numbers that the EPA even said they would. But I want to bring this back because it seems to be everyone is comparing the Model Y and the Rivian R2, and some people have forgotten, or they want to round back when that was back in the day when Tesla, was doing this a lot. Tesla did the same thing. The first generation Model 3s and Model Ys rarely, if ever, hit their EPA target. It was almost impossible to do. Does that make it right? No. Do I think that should Rivian have done that? No. I think you should err on the side of having a lower number and exceeding that number than having an extraordinary number and missing it by a lot. Everyone's always going to be more excited to have more range than anticipated versus the inverse. So Tesla listened to its customers after so many years and decided to say, you know what? No, we want our cars to do 300 almost all the time. And now, for the most part, they do. My Model Y Performance is by far the most efficient Tesla that I have owned in the performance lineup of Teslas. Yes, the rear-wheel drive one would be more efficient. We know that. But for me, I normally buy the performance models, and this Model Y Performance is by far the most efficient. For the Rivian R2, it's a new platform, so I am not trying to also justify why Rivian did what they did, but I do want people to realize that this is a software-defined vehicle. Things can change and things can be updated, and more efficiency can be brought into the platform with tweaks with the software. This software is nowhere near done, nor is it even feature complete or parity with R1. But what I will say is, I am on the all-terrain tire, so that's going to hurt efficiency for sure. But my R2 is very similar in range and efficiency to my R1, my Gen 2 R1 with range wheels. Right now, if I pull up Rivian Roamer, it's showing that my efficiency is about 2.71 to 2.73 over the lifetime of my R2 vehicle. There's a couple, I think there's a few miles that our Rivian Roamer didn't capture for whatever reason, but when you look at that over almost 1,500 miles, the car's been averaging about 2.71. The car sees a lot more city driving, and we do see it show on the indicated dash 3.6, 3.7, even 4.1. But it seems like the second the car starts to get above 60 miles an hour, the drop-off is significant. Where with my Model Y, it is not that case. That's just not the case with my Model Y. I mean, there's been times where I'm running 80 and I'm easily getting 3.2, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour on the highway. Now, again, I'm also drafting off of other people because in Florida, people drive very fast. But for this test, I'm not. I'm making the car do all the work that it possibly can do by keeping large distances away from larger or bigger vehicles. But I just want people to know that now we've flipped around and the numbers are starting to tick back up. So for me, so far, like just from turning around, my last 15-minute number is now 2.57, but for the entire drive, it's at 2.46. So as you can see, this is why it's a good idea to do loop style. So any inefficiencies you had going one direction, they will be corrected by going the opposite direction or going back. So as you see, we are starting to creep up now. And according to my driver's display, I am in the green now. So which means the vehicle, the line that they have for green is 3. So the vehicle is saying that if I keep on this track, I'm going to be up to 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Is that going to happen? I don't know. It might. But I don't think the average will be 3. It will not be 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So we'll check back in with you guys shortly. We're probably going to go around this car as soon as we can. But there is a car behind me and I don't want to just pace this guy. So yeah, we are dropping off. So I'm going to move over now. But we'll check back in with you shortly.
This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life. Don't look at the past, no, we're not going that way. Oh, now make it last, make it last to the break of day. No matter what people say, live life in a fast lane. Double shot for the gifted, triple shot for the pain. There you go, drink it up, all this love in a cup. Yeah, we go.
All right, guys, I wanted to jump in and let you guys know that this was the highest efficiency number that R2 during our efficiency test reached. It was 2.85. This was on the return leg back. Like I said earlier in the video, we had a slight headwind, about a 6 mile an hour headwind going. So now we're having about that 6 mile an hour tailwind pushing the vehicle behind, which is, raising the efficiency. The difference between this was about 4 miles. So the vehicle could have potentially went 4 miles if we had the 2.85 the entire drive that we did. It would have been about 4 more miles. I think personally, for you to see a giant leap, we need to be seeing bigger jumps in efficiency. So instead of it going up to 2.8, if it went up to, let's say, 3.3, that would have been a bigger deal to really start to notice that, hey, this isn't as bad. But just wanted to pop in to let you know, 2.85 was the maximum. And as you see in this clip, you will see it will start to taper back down again. So that was our peak.
This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.
And that's it, guys. We're coming off of the 70 miles an hour because we're coming back into the city area. And we went 48 miles. The vehicle did 2.58 miles per kilowatt hour and used 19 kilowatt hours to do it. We started with 67% and ended at 47. It just dropped to 46%. So essentially, like we already knew, this is exactly what it's going to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that the vehicle can't do better with software updates or other changes and all of that. But on the 20-inch all-terrain wheels, you're going to be at highway speed of 70 miles an hour, which is 72 indicated on the dash for this vehicle. You're going to be sitting around with a neutral wind, so that means if you had a headwind and you turn around and come back and now have a tailwind, between 2.55 and 2.6 is where you're going to land currently. That doesn't mean it can't be better. Obviously, there will be days where you have a massive tailwind behind you and, you know, you're getting 3.1 because the wind is helping you. And there'll be days where you're going to go less because there's a headwind, or there's rain, or there's winter, snow. There's a whole lot of factors that go into this. And do I think the numbers that we are seeing today are bad enough to make people not purchase the vehicle? In my opinion, that is a no. Because if you go back and, you know, you go back when Tesla was doing this, you know, it didn't hurt necessarily their sales. Do I think that we should be moving beyond that now? Absolutely. I do think that we should be beyond that now and go from there. I also personally think a lot of this is to blame the EPA, in my opinion, because I feel like, I get it, the EPA cannot test every vehicle in the real world in the same conditions because we all live in different places. So we're just going to put the vehicle in park. And again, as you see, those are final numbers there. But the EPA cannot test everyone's vehicle or every manufacturer's vehicle in the real world in the same conditions because we live in different areas, different weathers, different climates, all of that thing. So they have to do them in a controlled environment. I think what we do need to have is that the EPA should be more strict across the automotive fleet. If we have, you know, different propulsion systems, we have gas powered vehicles or ice powered vehicles, you have hybrids where they're both, and then you have fully, you know, battery electric vehicles. I feel like we need to have a standard for gas, for hybrids, and battery electric vehicles, and they need to be one cycle. So whatever cycle that they decide, that's what every vehicle has to go through, and whatever the numbers are is the numbers. That way it is equally as fair, and no automaker can go, I want to run this cycle, I want to run the 5 cycle versus the 7 cycle, I want to run this versus that, or you don't have to worry about that. It should be strictly across the board, and that should be it. All of the testing parameters are going to be the same, and you run the same cycle, and whatever the number is the number. That would also drive automakers to make more efficient EVs. It'll teach them to be efficiency is king. If you want more range on a smaller battery, which makes the vehicle more profitable, you got to get that efficiency down. And like I said, yes, I agree what RJ said and what people are taking from what he said as a problem. Technically, in my opinion, he did not lie because what he said was accurate. On paper, that is exactly what it shows. In the real world, that is not what it shows. I don't know how we as a community should go about that. You know, if it's ethical, if it's not, should he have not? I'm not here to say whether he should have or he shouldn't. If it were me as a CEO, I can't speak for him, but if it was me, I would have gone with a better real world number and have my customers be more excited that they get more range than less. Because again, as we know, there is a correction factor that the EPA uses, normally 0.7, to help give you a better number in the real world. But we know in the extremes of both sides, cold and like Florida heat or Arizona heat or Texas heat, the vehicle is not going to be as efficient as it would be if it was kind of closer to the middle. You have people who live up in the mountains. You're doing a lot of up and down elevations. It's going to really drastically change how much range you get. You know, for us in Florida, 9 months out of the year, it is the surface of the sun outside. It is extremely hot. The HVAC has to work harder. This is all to say that this is what the vehicle is going to do on the highway with the all-terrain tires. You're going to go about 230 to 270 miles. You might have an outlier or two here that may stretch up to 280, 290. You may even have one that hits 300. You may have some that hits 150. But again, at the end of the day, I need people to really think about their road tripping and think about what they are doing. Most of the time, 90% of your driving is going to be to and from work, around town, maybe you know, a couple of smaller trips. I don't think people road trip as much as they may think they do. Obviously, there are tons of people who do, and maybe it's not for you, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. But I think on the grand scheme of things, a lot of people are not going to road trip 300, 400, 500 miles weekly, you know, per day. Some people do, some people don't. But for us, we are still very much happy with our R2. The range is more than enough. We have a dog, and our dog can go about 4 hours in the car. That's about as far as he's going to go before he wants to get out, go to the bathroom, stretch his legs. So for us, if the car can do about 250 miles straight on the highway, that's all I'm going to do out of it anyway. And for me, when I get out, he's got to be out of the car for 15 to 20 minutes. If the car can go 10 to 80 in 26 to 28 minutes, I'm okay with that for me. And I feel like a lot of people should be okay with it. Should we be pushing Rivian for better tech? Absolutely. If this was an 800 volt car, charging would be even better and faster. But to wrap this up, we hope you enjoyed this short efficiency video that we made for you guys. Again, we did an almost a 50-mile loop. Maybe if enough people ask for it, maybe we will do 100 to 0 loop on this, just to see, you know, what it actually would do from top to bottom. But this was more of an efficiency video to show and back up what others have been showing. So we hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more, and we will see you on the next one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.